What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to talk about Maliq Brown because I think he is one of the more intriguing players and potentially one of the more important players for Duke this upcoming season. And what I wanted to talk about is what position is Maliq Brown going to play? Because at Syracuse, while he's like 6'8", 220 pounds or so, he played a lot, mostly at center. And he was pretty good at it. He led the ACC in steals. And last year, it's not like Syracuse was in the 2-3 zone the whole time. Most of the time, they played man. So you can't necessarily chalk it up to him just being a part of the zone defense, right? And so the question for me is Maliq Brown commits to Duke after Mark Mitchell had left. And I think a lot of people, myself included, kind of felt like Maliq Brown was the Mark Mitchell replacement. Similar size, kind of similar players, although I feel like Mark Mitchell is more of a small forward, power forward tweener, whereas Maliq Brown is a power forward center tweener. They both like to get downhill, get into the lane, and score. Mark Mitchell is definitely a more creative player off the dribble, and Mark Mitchell has a little bit more to his game from the outside as well, but both are a little bit limited from there. And so it seemed like, he was kind of be set up to be the power forward replacement. But over time, and as we've moved further into the summer, and I've evaluated the team a little bit more, and I did the rotation, Duke's rotation video. I'll link that in the description here. And I just feel like Maliq Brown is going to play some minutes at center this year. And I think he's going to play minutes at center to start the year, and maybe we'll see if he'll play more power forward as the year goes on, how his minutes are affected, because I think the amount of time he plays at center is going to be dictated by how ready Kamal Maliq and Pat Ngangba are at the start of the season. And I think both guys are going to need time. So I think Maliq Brown is going to play center to start the year. The other factor that I think is important to discuss here is going back to his limited outside game. He didn't shoot many threes. He did make the ones, on a decent percentage that he shot, but it was on very few attempts. His free throw percentage did improve from his freshman year to his sophomore year, so I do think he improved as a shooter, and I think he will continue to improve as a shooter. But for him to play consistent minutes at the 4, it's going to depend on whether he can shoot the 3, and then also and I think Kamal Maliq can shoot the 3. So I think that kind of will help play Brown at the 4 because you won't have the spacing issues, right? Like last year's team, Mark Mitchell played the 4, and while in the middle of the season he did start to hit his 3, spacing was a little bit of concern in the beginning and the end of the year. The one thing that did help, though, was that Kyle Filipowski was a 3-point shooting threat. And I think that will continue with Maliq and even Ngangba if he plays this year. But I really do think Maliq Brown is going to play center, and then they'll try out some lineups with him at power forward early on in the season, and by ACC play, I think they'll have decided as to whether he'll be the power forward or center. I don't think he's going to, once they figured it out, I don't think they're going to try to make him like oscillate between power forward and center. It's just very different responsibilities. But I do think he will start center. And part of the reason for that is Jon Scheyer's track record these past 2 years. He played Ryan Young a ton of minutes when Derek Lively wasn't quite ready, initially because of injury, and then it just took him some time to acclimate. Once he was ready, Ryan Young's minutes diminished. I think we could see something similar, and then Maliq Brown's playing time will be dictated based off of how successful he is at the power forward position. But I think he's a really high-quality defender. Every time you watch the Duke Basketball Podcast, guys are talking about his ability to get deflections in the lane. And Like I said earlier, he led the ACC in steals. So I'm curious, what do you guys think he's going to play, center or power forward more this coming season? Please subscribe to the channel, tell a friend, like the video, all that good YouTube stuff helps me grow the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.